And then I'll connect Magnus later. All right. I know individuals, I get so wrapped up and tired of the issues when it comes down to trading, and I totally understand that. And what I want to do is try to simplify trading to the best of my ability for each and every one of y'all. How I'm going to be able to do so is very simple. There is three bots that I've created to just always keep their eye open for opportunities. And we're going to go ahead and find places that we can go ahead and maximize in that regard. Before we do that, let me go over to NQ and set my charts up the way I like to set it up before I get my day going. I love to use opening range on the 15-minute. Um, it's very simple. Uh, we got ourselves our orb. Unlock it. Perfect. All right. And what I like to do is box out all the sessions because we tend to come right back to them. Yeah, almost right there. All right. So for the Asian session, that will be this level here and this level here. For the London session, it's right there at 3 o'clock. That's there and here. And in about a couple minutes, we'll be dealing with the New York session. Let's move this up a little bit. And get you over to 9:30 right there. All right, so we should be somewhere around in that range itself. And what you want to kind of stay on this video and watch along the way is I will be coming in and out and breaking down what the bots are. One bot I have is called Market Dominance. It basically keeps track of where there's large price action or cash flow coming into the market. Again, price action could be liquidity sweeps, so that doesn't mean that the cash are actually coming in, but that's where they're filling the orders, and it highlights to explain what that area could be, right? And then we look for confirmation. Another one is Pac-Man Got 'em. The reason why I went with that is because it reminds me of Pac-Man. That's kind of chops those little tiny balls, right? And each one are the stop losses, which leads to liquidity sweeps in itself. And then the last one is Pinky Nemesis Pinky. It's part of my Pac-Man series, which is basically kind of staying in the same theme. If you don't know who Pinky is, it's one of the ghosts that's on Pac-Man, and tends to be very, very mischievous. It looks like it's going to go a certain way. You avoid it, and then all it was doing was trying to trap you with some others. So those are my trap ones. So one is the liquidity sweep, which is not much of a trap. It's just you're vulnerable in itself. And then the pinky is more of the full trap. Like even though it is very similar to a liquidity sweep, the difference is it really, really shows flashes as if it's going to be something that it really is not, kind of like a pump fake or a deviation or a sidestep in itself. All right. So those are the three that I use quite a bit. They're just analysis, AI driven analysis to kind of understand what is available. Again, no one indicator can give you everything, folks. So do not anticipate that. No one guru that's on this internet can go ahead and lead you to profitability with complete consistency. It takes work, and if you're willing to put in the work, you're going to get exactly what you're looking for. That's how I look at it. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get this thing cracking. I love trading on the 45-minute. They're going to kind of see that pop up here and there, and then also don't forget to subscribe over to OEOS. It is a proprietary software and website that I have created. It's one of my pride and joys, I would say, for the most part, because I had a lot of fun building it. If you don't know, back in the days, I did a lot of computer coding, and I kind of brought that element into this part of my journey. But that journey also equates to the fact that with technology, AI, and everything else, it kind of makes things a little bit seamless. And oh, that came out 10 minutes ago. I gotta love the AI. So this is 45-minute, um, giving us a relative confirmation for continuation to the long side. We had a massive drop off that happened here, but we had a push that pushed here. So what should have been a continuation looks like it's going to be a bit of a liquidation sweep. So getting long at 889 is not a bad idea if we're going to go ahead and continue to get more highs here. Am I logged into my? Nope. I'm still in paper trade. Let's get out of there. Let's go ahead and get my stuff ready. Let's see. Let me double check if I have any questions in the YouTube space. All right, no questions there. Actually, let me just get this nice and small and minimized over here. That way I can keep an eye on that. Put you over there. Actually, no, put you over there. And keep our eyes on some of the scalp trades. All right, I'm logged in. Boom, boom, boom. All right, see what we can get. So I do like that 889. What it would look like, it'll look something like this. It looks something like that. Yeah, because right there, let me go ahead and put the opening range as well. This is what we're looking at so far. They're basically using a previous order block into support, and I'm about to see what they're doing with that area. I do think because we've been running for a while with these all-time highs, I won't be surprised that this thing just pulls back something a little bit more comfortable. If we go over to a 2 hour, you can kind of see we've just been drifting up for the most part, and no real complete control by the bulls. So is the bears tired of all this, or are we going to start to round this top into like a dome and come back down? But it's going to take a lot of time for that to happen. And I think that's why we're getting some of this seller pressure here, especially with psychological. 27,000 is all the way up there. Had a couple of trade ideas for shorts to kind of give you a little synopsis. This was on a daily. We had a major move here, and I was thinking that since NQ was so overheated that they could be a nice little push. I would love to see it break like the 590s. If it break the listen, folks, I'm telling you this right now. If we break the 590s after making these all-time highs, a lot of these fair value gaps are going to be vulnerable. So keep an eye on it. I don't know which one would they give up first, but it should give you a nice little push to the downside. Now, some people are saying that there is no crash, there is no this, there is no AI bubble and everything else. And we've been sweeping all this sell side liquidity here, which all are true, but we just got to be relative and hey, listen, we're going to go ahead and take what the market gives us. That's all. That's all. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel. We're not trying to go ahead and be right. We just want to make sure we make money. Here goes that push down again. Um, very interesting because it's on the 871 is one of the areas I've been looking for this thing to kind of continue to the downside. This idea is still intact because it never gave us a solid entry. Okay, so this could be just more sweep of liquidity. If new buyers step in because they got a better price, you can stand on the shoulder of the giants, and then you could go ahead and continue that ride to the upside. We got 10 minutes left on this candle. And you can kind of see market dominance is actually triggering right now. Let me see if there's anything out there as well. Let me turn on Pinky and Pac-Man as well. Yeah, so we had a Pac-Man over here, I believe. Oh, that's Pinky. Okay, so we had a Pinky here. There it goes. That one was a Pac-Man. Okay. Nice bullish move too. It's nice sweep of liquid. So they swept the liquidity, just sweep the liquidity right back again. And then Biggie comes in and chimes in. All right, so we got a couple of things that's coming in. Listen, I want to talk about Microsoft real quick before I get too far gone. I think if this thing breaks 417, we're going to go ahead and start coming down a little bit because this has been running for a while. Here's the 1 day to kind of give you a little perspective. Um, this area right here should have been liquidated, and it's not doing so. So 417, even 421 could be it. Um, Yeah, I think the 417 was triggered based on here. Mm, mm, mm. Yeah, I'm very curious on what they do with that level. Does it really break down or does it um trigger something else? Because I think 417 down to like 400 is probably going to be a play. So let me look at the math of this. I'll go, continuation. Open high and low in the daily was 421. 15, 421. Oh, interesting. This was the previous, but let's try to trigger this. Well, I needed a trigger of that one. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. But yeah, I want to see what they do with this one here, 421 in itself. We're gonna have to tweak the AI a bit on that one. Anyways, let's get back over to NQ. That way we all bog this thing down and be boring and all that good stuff. Let's see what we got on our 15-minute opening range. All right, so we're still inside of the range as it's trying to establish itself. Let's see how that goes. For those that want to go ahead and participate with our floor and get rich if it's trying, it's going to be very, very important for you to check me out on Instagram, JD underscore the great. That way I can send you information on how to participate via our exclusive Discord. Much more alerts are provided there. Um, these are all AI driven on one entry, one shot, and look forward to work with y'all. We'll be right back. I'm gonna go ahead and let this kind of settle and see what happens. All right, we got 4 more minutes. So just waiting for everything to set up. Possibly going to be looking for more downside. Very possible. After putting a 15-minute dominance, I would love to kind of see this get up inside of the upper range of that 871. Probably where everybody's accumulating their puts. I'm missing a screen. All right, I need that. Okay, I need that. But technically, oh, don't need that. That's where I put you. That's what I need. No, that's fine. Switch these channels up. All right, we got ourselves 2 minutes left. Do not panic. Do not get paranoid. Let the trade come to you. Yeah, it does, but nah, don't want no distraction. Totally got you. Very interesting. It's almost like the market is trying its best to sell all this price movement, and it just keeps on trying to push up. No, I won't. I won't take a risky trade like that. I was thinking about doing something like this because a 5 minute did come in, right? This one is green, that one is green, and it's basically kind of pushing right back up. But then the 15 minute is going to finish relatively red, and it would be very, very risky to take a trade like that. But we'll see. One step at a time. Small nibble here would not be a bad idea. Um, I might, I may, I may take a little stadium because we got a nice confirmation that the 15 minute is going to be pushing to the downside here. Um, sitting right at strange danger, which is the equilibrium. Let's go ahead and check out some QQQ puts. This is probably going to be very high risk in itself, so just be patient. We'll do nothing reckless. So today, exploration. Today's. I'm not paying no 200 for 645s. $55. And some 285s. Very possible. I'm sorry, 645. I want to say 285. 645. Um, All right. They try to take my bearish range. Let's see if they can get up there. Looks like they're struggling to do so. I want to do a small nibble, but you know what? I think I'm gonna wait till after 10 o'clock. Only reason is because we have already swept this. Is that all the momentum that they have left? And then this is the new buyers, and I can get myself trapped. It's very possible. I still see the bullish potential right here as they sweep the liquidity to try to get some highs. I may take a position on the break of 889. Oh, that's a nice little sweep there. If I was nimble enough to kind of go in and out like that, attempt to recapture the 871 and recapture this wick on the failure for them to get up to that upper side. But we got 12 minutes left. No guarantees. Let me check out some of these alerts that came in. IWM shorts, check that out. Entry at 277 to the downside. NQ shorts, 268, 22. That would break down to 2676. Yeah, somewhere around there. SPY 708, break it down for $1, like 707. After trying to make a push to the upside, it looks like we're getting a little bit of a reversal. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it was gonna be risky. I wanted to, but I was trying to see, do we test this area here or not? Probably was the best entry to play this 879, 871. That's a 30-point drop right there. But I did say I was going to probably wait for 10 o'clock, so I'm thinking I'm going to stick with that. Those $55 contracts, 645, has shot up to about, what is that, 10%? No, 20% to 64, 65. It just showed flashes of 65. So that would have been a 20% move right then and there. And just off of that rejection. We're going to keep our eyes there. All right, almost to the equilibrium of my range. That is below the opening range of equilibrium. And stranger danger. Those are the areas where strange things happen. Sometimes it acts like a black hole, sucking price right back to it. And sometimes it spits it out with no respect whatsoever. It just depends on how the market perceives itself and dissects the information. Yeah, that was a very interesting move. I didn't think it could pull it off because I really thought everybody that was inside of this wick had control. But this was a good market dominance rejection. You could kind of see, right? You get yourself a nice little red candle that actually closes red. You let the pullback do whatever it can. Maybe go down to a smaller time frame. You probably would have found a better entry that way. But I was just kind of guiding y'all in this, especially I wanted to wait till 10 o'clock. and catch that 79 right into that 71 would have been a safe entry, and you could kind of see the momentum's bringing us into the strange danger. Probably going to get to that 813, which is what I think is going to happen, or we could be doing something like a channel in this regard. I'm just going to do an example of it. This is not what I'm thinking it is, but let's assume that it's just doing this dance here. Probably bounce right off of that level when it gets close to the bottom of that range. All right, those contracts are now close to $75. And I won't be surprised if you started to take some profit if you were inside of this trade. Um, just be careful because, again, sometimes the bearish range that's been established is where the bulls stepped in and kind of push it right back up. It is in my green area, which is where buyers tend to show up trying to get to the top of the range, basically blowing past 871. And that's what I'm kind of seeing here. Look at that. They're taking that profit. That's the reason why I wanted to kind of wait till 10 o'clock. I think all the suckers will be out by 10 o'clock. So let's take another break and I'll be right back. All right, I want to take this opportunity to kind of break down what could be pushing us all over the place. Let's go over and check out the dollar real quick. Okay, why is this acting up? And the dollar is trying to rally. And we got this gap here. So I do feel like there is some more downside for the most part if they attempt to fill this gap. There's news that everything's fine with the war, something like that. I don't know, I guess whatever the crap that they're playing again. Uh, it's one of those things where you kind of sit in your hands for the most part and find your best opportunities. Every time I kind of see those news um, notifications, but you can kind of see that dollar now making a nice little base. If this thing just explodes through this area, especially at 991, look for this thing to kind of like catch some momentum and really put some pressure to those that are shorting the dollar. We'll go back over to the NQ, come back to the 15-minute. Let's see what's going on over there. All right, so we get another boost to the upside, probably allowing for cheaper puts, but I digress. That's for a different conversation for a different day. So, let's see. Still haven't taken a trade, haven't seen anything that is worth it. Thought about taking some scalps in the regard to it, but nah. probably reloaded on some puts. Let's come over to the 1 minute and you'll see what I mean. Nice little push to this upside, very choppy up, choppy up, choppy up, choppy up. All right, they realize they can't get it. Boom, we push right back down. Then they're choppy up, choppy up, choppy up. And they're going to try to see if they can flip this right back over. I don't know if they can, but we will find out in a little bit. We got like 3 minutes left until this candle closes. I already have a target under 771 for these puts. That's why those 445 or the 645s are so tempting for me. Shout out to my scalpers. You got took out money and your profits. That thing went from 55 to 75. So that's like you got 50% up. Right like 40, 45% up. Give or take. So I was watching some YouTube videos along the way. And talking about all these trading gurus that's out there. I don't consider myself no trading guru. I think I'm a realist for the most part. I get frustrated, I get angry, and all that stuff, just like anyone else, because your emotions are supposed to be something that guides you and protect you, but it's not something that you can automatically just completely eliminate. But you got to lock it up, right? Can't let it distract you against the objective, especially if it's following your plan. So one of in that regard, so when we didn't make these higher highs here, right? I did consider, well, if this thing shorts again, I'm going to go back inside of here, especially if it doesn't make any higher highs. But that would have been more at the open than the one that was on the second part, which was this one here. So I did find that questionable. We did pull back quite a bit, but you can see if I bring the charts like this is just a channel or a range. And if you don't enter right, you can really get chopped up because you think it's not going to do something, and then you start to lose some profits in the midst of it. So I think the true volume is going to kick in a little bit. Going to get a brand new 4-hour candle, brand new 2-hour candle, brand new 1-hour candle, brand new all types of other candles. So that's why I wanted to wait for it. Yeah, this whole entire thing is a range. You got a minute and 22 seconds. Still looks like they want to push this thing to the downside. If you wanted to do something a little bit safer, I would say probably do tomorrow or Friday. Friday 625 puts. Tomorrow 640 puts. It's probably where you want to be. And then if it breaks, listen, and I'm gonna be very frank, right? If it does anything to this area right here where the sell side liquidity is supposed to be, get out. Okay. It will end in $0. No value. I mean, you'll just be throwing money and incinerating it. Let's keep that in mind. But just keep an eye on those 640 for tomorrow, 625 or Friday. I think those are going to be very, very attractive for some of the bears. The reason why I like the 625 on Friday is because you got a whole nother day. It's probably not going to really damage it if it does take off, but that's assuming that this does not break these levels here. All right, we got quite a bit of alerts coming in. What we got? We got T-Mobile. Oh my God, that thing is dropping. And I thought about going into that bad boy yesterday because we failed to really hold up. Oh, look at that pop up it did. I should have seen that on the daily. Oh, okay, that was pre-market. Okay, okay. No, that is not pre-market. What was that? Shot up to 206 and then it just dropped. Look at that bad boy there. All right, so give it a little bit. I'm going to wait for confirmation in itself, but if you want it to be risky on T-Mobile to the downside, look for 189 to hold maybe get a entry close to there. If it gets above 192, get out of the way. It has been dropping quite a bit. It might stop right here or stop at TP1, and that's all they have. But it'll be straight butter if that thing starts to break to 174. Spotify. Spotify, you got a deep consolidation that's happening, and it's outside of the consolidation cycle. So let's just assume that this would have been your consolidation cycle right inside of here. So let's range out there. This is very, very lenient, not too structured. So bear with me with that. But you can kind of see this bad boy was doing its best to try to stay up in that range, but it just cannot get above that 540. And look for Spotify to possibly go as low as 509. That will bring us inside of this area in this range here. So just keep that one in mind. Zom. Well, all the stuff going on with Hormuz and everything else, look for a ZOM to try to attempt to continue to the upside. I think they had a massive drop off, thinking that the ceasefire was nice and tidy, but I won't be surprised with the way this chart is looking. If I was to predict what the news is going to say, they're going to go ahead and say, well, the ceasefire is over because Iran did not come to the table properly, and blah, blah, blah. And then this thing's going to take off and try to attempt more highs past 174. Lockheed Martin is another one. This thing may reverse. I think it's been dropping quite a bit, but it's Lockheed Martin that has to go ahead. Oh, maybe not. Look at that inverse head and shoulder. Well, it can, because this is pretty much the end of the inverse head and shoulder. You got your peak up here. You got your neckline roughly here. That would have been your break. So we're like 99% build on that one. All right, let's get back over to NQ. Oh, look at that. That's all I was saying. And this is what I was, if we could break under there without that. So those 625 and 640s, they are moot. They are over. Ignore that sentiment. Did they get the high? They didn't get the high. This thing crosses over here at 89 again. I am going to possibly take this to the upside on some 0 DTEs possibly, and also probably on live futures. Let's see. Let's see if I can find something nice. 655, too far. 653, maybe. Let's put this on market. Let it break the 889. There's a possibility we could get all the way to that 27,000. That's what I'm kind of looking at. Not right now. I'm gonna take a shot at this. See if we can go ahead and get these all-time highs again. All right, I risk $100 on that one. Yeah, it was an idea. Still am considering holding on to the option ones though. I'm very, very light. It's almost to my stop. Down 20%. Could be using this as momentum, bringing it down to kind of suit this area here. I'm leaning on new. I'm leaning on we're going to get to 27,000. This could be an area for your 640s and 625s that I talked about earlier. Those are longer term swings, so it makes sense. Yep. Take my L in the chin. Was looking for the momentum to really catch us here, right? And you could kind of see we caught it, and then they tried again, and then they tried again, and then they just kind of dumped it off. Now they could reload on this block, so I may take a second attempt, assuming. The reason why I get out is because, of course, I got small position, and the other reason is, what if I'm wrong? Why give all of it back? You can always get back in. And this is what I'm looking for again. We're coming back to it. Let's come back to the 45-minute. As they're attempting to liquidate um another shot. Oh, did it not? I don't think it filled my order. Uh yeah, it didn't fill my order. It did a minute buy. All right, we can get out of that one. That wasn't good for the option. Oh, look at that. Nice explosion to the upside. Mother suckers. Such jerks. All right, so let's see if I can hold on to this a bit. Um, I was down like 100 some odd dollars. So, you know what? I think I'm gonna go ahead and risk it to break even, just to kind of see if I can hold on or they can hold on to this level. Treat this as the opening range breakout in itself and kind of give ourselves a nice little solid push. Or do they liquidate the bulls that just stepped into it? And if they do, then my break even should be more than enough for me to find out. All right, bullish range again. Let's come over to a 5 minute and see what they got going on. Nice sweep of liquidity here. Want to hold on to my position here, but again, it's based on the entry off of that 889. And because they swept so much of the buy side liquidity that brought the momentum here, is why I think that they could easily go ahead and note this down. All right, that's close enough to break even. 45 bucks. They got me on that one. Uh, 200 bucks. I know. And I'm not down $118. I know. Let me give it one last attempt, depending on how I feel. Okay. All right, and let's give it that. Let's see what happens here. If the bullish opening range can give us some strength here. That'll be this line here. Nice solid breakthrough. Already got higher highs. Does people reload here? If they do, that reload should get us up inside of here somewhere. I got a TP all the way at 969. Let's see if I can hold on to there. All right, that looks good. That looks really, really great. 430 as a psychological 900 level that they're going to be testing with. Let me see, have we touched this before? Yeah, that's psychological 900. Hmm. Lots of selling pressure at that 900, huh? Come on, recapture, baby. Recapture. Let's see if they sweep the sell side liquidity here. I would love to be in this trade for a total of 45 minutes. We got like 17 more minutes left in this candle. Come on, bullish opening range. As I was saying, with the dollar looking like it's trying to build up some strength, it can really throw everything off. Come on, baby. Come on, bullish range. Hold that wall. There we go. Keep reloading at two. If it keeps reloading at 892, this 900 level will break. All right, move out of the way. Move out of the way to the freight train. Move. Get out the way. Get out the way. Get out the way. Move. Get out the way.
Get out the way. Get out the way. Get out the way. Get out the way. I heard you say Ross is catchy.
Very catchy, right?
I
Gotcha.
don't know that.
Come on, baby. Give me one more of these bad boys. There we go. Let's get ourselves a nice little explosion. I'm thinking like 950 or higher. Let's see if this thing can print something vicious. All right, we got like 660 on the board, 675, 710. There we go. 925 can be a psychological level that's a jerk to us. Option contracts are above 40%. Let me see if I can get to $1,000 with y'all on here. 880. I gotta take 750 at the very least. Come on, show me 1,000, baby. Come on, baby. That's 900 right there. Only one mic, only one mini. If I had two, probably be a different conversation. Come on, baby. There we go. There we go. Give me my 1,000. All right, got 1,000. Got to walk away with 950 or higher. 950 or higher. 950 or higher. 950 or higher. Almost closed it. Almost closed it. You got one more on you? Get to that. Get there. Get there. Come on, get to that psychological level. I gotta take this 950. Boom! That was a great trade. All right, let me go ahead and close on my option contract. All right. It was a great trade. Don't forget to follow me, JD underscore the great. I want to bid you a fond farewell. Oh my God, I didn't even know you was in there. My bad, Lee. I thought I turned off the waiting room. I was streaming on YouTube at the same time.
Oh no,
Please.
man, you're fine. I was looking for the signal yesterday, and I didn't see that you sent out the signal or anything. I've been I'm not in the breaks this week, so I was gonna try to jump on this morning.
Oh man, I wish he was in here. Actually, hold on. Let me stop the stream. All right, y'all, YouTube. I'll talk to y'all later. Let me go ahead and holler at